Flosstube. I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the stitcher with the laughing face. This is Flosstube number 15. Thanks for stopping by to see what I'm up to. It's been a little while since my last video. I would like to get them out every 2 weeks, but hopefully as school kind of settles down a little bit, I'll have a little bit more time, and also soon we won't be able to go disc golfing on the weekend. So we're trying to get in as much fun as we can before the winter sets in here, which you never know when that's going to happen in Buffalo. It could be tomorrow that we get a snowstorm that knocks everybody out. I mean, it was around this time last year, we had a blizzard that was so bad, they actually had to move the Bills football game to Detroit because the stadium was so snowed in, they couldn't get it cleaned out in time for the game. So we don't want that this year. None of that. None of that. So, but thanks for coming back again, and so happy to have my stitchy friends who are always so kind and comment on my videos and are encouraging about my finishes and my stitching, and so it's just been so much fun to be part of this community. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. I started my Flosstube in February. I turned 50 this year, and so I decided to challenge myself to finish 50 projects in my 50th year. And I'm about to hit 35, so I know they still have 15 to go before the end of the year, but I have a lot of quick autumn small things I'm going to show you in my plans, and I know that Christmas roundabouts and little ornaments go by pretty quick. I also thought about it that last week between Christmas and New Year's. Of course, as a teacher, I have off, and I was like, oh, I can do a bunch of stuff then. But I was thinking I should try to finish anything I started this year that I didn't get done. Like I started Black Cat Bakery and some patriotic stuff. And so I might try to finish up things during that week that have already been started. One of the reasons I wanted to do the 50 for 50 is because I had a lot of UFOs, unfinished objects. Most of them are quilts, things that were sitting in my crafting space for years without getting finished. And I have actually finished a couple of them, and that makes me really happy that they're now going to be out and enjoyed and are given to people so that they can love them and not just sitting there. So that was one of my goals, and that's working so far. I still have quite a lot down there, but I've gotten quite a few things done too. So in the description, you'll see the list of things that as I finish them off, like what number they are in my 50 for 50. I did add, and I will probably put it in the listing, but I don't have them with me. I did 2 of the Strawberry Festival from Priscilla and Chelsea, but I didn't put them in my list when I finished them because my intention was to finish all of them, and of course that didn't happen. So I have one done from the little festival that Chelsea and Priscilla did. Maybe I'll put a picture in here. And I have the second one almost done. So that'll be one of the things I'll finish up that last week of December because it's so close. And then I also have one of the strawberry roundabouts done. So those are in my list, even though I didn't put them in the list when I did finish them. So they're in there as well. So life updates, just kind of plugging away at school. It's a lot this year, although I did have some good news on Friday. Our school is, we have a very big campus. Being the private school, we have over 100 acres, actually, that's part of our school. And so we have a lot of nature, and there's actually a preserve across the street from us. We have our own apple orchard, which is pretty cool. And so we have an outdoor education program where we have a teacher who pushes in science and social studies, even and math sometimes, with doing graphs and measuring and stuff like that. And our previous teacher got a job in the park services. So, and she was wonderful. We miss her. She's awesome. So it took a little while for us to find a new outdoor ed teacher, and we just hired somebody. So I'm super excited because that means that that my 7th and 8th graders they'll have OE. It'll take the place of one of my ELA times with them. So that gives me 2 periods back a week that I can get some stuff done, for the library, really, because that's where I don't have the time to get everything set. So that's exciting. I'm very happy to have that. 2 periods back is going to make a big difference. And the book fair is in 9 days, so we're gearing up for that. This year, our theme is Books Make Me Want to Shout, which is kind of a play on the song that they play for the Bills whenever we score touchdowns, which is the Bills make me want to shout. It's the song from Animal House, actually. And so that's like their theme song. So everything in the book fair is red, white, and blue. I got a lot of like Bills tablecloths and stuff to put on the tables and football related. So when we have family fun nights, there'll be football related games and crafts and face painting this year. We get to bring it back. We're excited. And I have lots of contests for the kids. And the exciting thing is that we are taking part in All for Books, which is Scholastic's charity. And for every dollar we raise, they give a book to kids in need in different places across the country. And I know this year they're sending books to Hawaii to help rebuild libraries and community centers and schools that were damaged in those wildfires over the summer. So that's really cool to know. But we get to raise the money however we want, and then you spend it in the fair, which helps your total to go up so you get more back. So I can buy more books and stuff for our school. But then you get to donate the books wherever you want. And we've done a couple different things in the past years. Sometimes we just help new teachers build their classroom libraries. We did a drive 2 years ago where we raised $1,000 and we bought 150 books and gave them to Oshai Children's Hospital, which is amazing that we have such an awesome children's hospital here. And that happens to be Josh Allen's charity. So you may, even if you watch football, you may have seen it on TV because they'll sometimes talk about it in commercials and show commercials for Oshai because, during a Bills game. So this year, we're super excited because we're going to be donating our books to Damar Hamlin's charity, which is Chasing M's. And now it's not just a charity, it's a foundation. So you may know Damar was the one who had the very scary cardiac arrest on the field in January. Sorry. So it was really scary, obviously, but he'd set up the charity actually when he was in college, Chasing M's, because he wanted to give toys to the kids in the area that he grew up in, Pittsburgh. He grew up in an area that, I'm not sure where he grew up, but in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of areas that financially the families are struggling. So his goal was to have $20,000 to be able to buy toys for the kids every year. And after that incident happened, he had $4 million. It's pretty cool. So I'm a sap. I'm sorry. I cry when characters die in the books, and I know it's happening anyway. So we're excited because we're going to be giving the books to his charity, and our PR person talked to their publicist, and they were really excited because they've never had books donated. So I'm hoping that we'll have a really good response from our families, and the class that raises the most amount of money with their coins, because they're going to bring in, they each have a jar for their class. They get to help me choose the books that we're going to donate, which we did last time too, and that was very fun. So obviously, the book fair is taking up a lot of my brain for the past couple of weeks, and it's a hectic week, but it's a lot of fun, and the kids have a great time with all the activities, but also they're also pretty excited about all the cool stuff that they get from the fair. So that's what I've been up to. Sam has his new job. He I think the last time I talked to you was right before he went to London for the football game over there, which of course we lost. But he had a great time. He met people from all over the world who were Bills fans. He stayed in a hostel, which turned out to be it was okay. He did a lot of the big touristy things and went to the Tower, and he went to Big Ben, and he went to Stonehenge, took his Bills flag and took pictures in all those places. So that was really cool. And when he came back from London, he had a new job. So he's no longer at the restaurant. He is now a car salesman, and he had a couple of weeks where he had to train and do a lot of, watching videos about the product and learning about the different cars. And this week he had his first sale. So we were super excited about that, and excited for him that he likes the new place. He likes the people he's working with, and, he wanted something that could be a career, and something that he wasn't working 12-hour days from 9 to 9. Because he said, someday he wants to have a family, and working hours like that would, make it harder. So we're excited for him. And then Brooke, who's eating her cereal near me, so she'll hear me talk about her. We just did her senior pictures, and those, I can't wait to see them, because we went with a mom from my school who is a photographer. She does great work. So we went to one of our favorite parks, So, and we did all the pictures outside with the beautiful foliage, and we hit it just at the right time of day where the sun was setting. And so we had some really cool shots with the different lighting, and I can't wait to see them. They're going to be awesome. And this week we went to her induction ceremony for a National Technical Honor Society, and we're super excited and very proud of her for that. So go Brooke. And then Vince is also doing well. He's plugging away at his new school. He really liked how homecoming went there and how much everybody got into it, and they decorate the hallways and have lots of fun events all week long. And so he thought that was really cool. And Max is doing well. He told me that he's been promoted in his internship that he's doing to senior intern. So he gets to do a little bit more kind of management of the studio that he's working at and helping to train new interns who come in when they come in next semester and that kind of thing. So that's really exciting for him. So everything's good. Phil's working at our properties and getting everything all set for winter. And, you know, just he's a perfectionist. And so his stuff, all of our apartments are really, really nice. And he works really hard to make sure that they stay that way and that the tenants are happy. And if anything does come up, you know, he fixes it right away. So that's what we're doing. All right, so that was plenty of life update and what I'm up to. But all right, so I do have a lot of Halloween stuff to show you because I love Halloween. I joke that I have as much Halloween decorations as normal people have for Christmas. You can see I got my lights behind me. I love to have lights up, and I took pictures. I'm hoping that I can figure this out. So hopefully when you started the video, there were a whole bunch of pictures of the house at Halloween and kind of like the little setups. And then at the end, I'm hoping to put the ones of fall, or maybe I'll do that next time because I am going to do one next week. I'm going to have an FFO party and I'm going to do one next week. So, so you might need something to drink. I don't know. I have coffee. Hot cider is always good at this time of year. I usually, we have a favorite recipe, but that has honey, lemon juice in the cider, and then it has allspice, whole cloves, and whole cinnamon sticks, and it makes very good hot cider. So grab something to drink and settle in because I've got a lot of Halloween to show. All right, I'm kind of trying to go in like chronological order. So this is one of my oldest, it's the oldest Halloween thing that I have. And if the date because I used to date everything, was 1997. So this I'm sure is from the Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. And it was the first thing I ever saw in their magazine that had glow-in-the-dark floss. So the ghosts down here glow in the dark. There's some glow in the dark in the pumpkin face, a couple of the eyes up here. And this was, it was all from Krenilic, or however you say it. And it came on little spools. And I remember working on it, and then I would turn the light off when I was going to bed, and then like all the little spools were glowing in the dark underneath the lamp where they've been sucking up all the light. So it's on Navy Ada, and I need to fix it up a little bit. So this was, you know, back in the 90s, you could go to Joann's or Michael's or wherever, and you could get components to put your own frame together. So that's what I had done for this one. So you could buy like the two pieces, the short and then the two long, so you could make a frame any size you wanted. And I did, but out over the years, it started to fall apart. So I just, last year or the year before that, I just took it out of the frame. Here you can see the eyes in the tree right there. And I'm going to mount it on a piece of, you know, take a piece of coordinating fabric, mount it on that, and kind of, you know, Priscillify it so that we can put it out and enjoy it. Now, the funny story with this one is, so I had it all done, and I put it in the frame, and my ex-husband, because, you know, 97, that's when we were married, he looked at it and he goes, did you spell Halloween wrong? And I was like, yes, I did. And it was in the frame. So it stayed that way. So happy Halloween. So that is my oldest Halloween piece. And I'll be happy to have that out again next year. All right. So the next one, also from Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. And I'm pretty sure this is a Gail Busey, or I forget the daughter's name, but the Busey mother-daughter team, they have lots of stuff in Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine, and I still have a couple. There's a quilt shop, like a witch's quilt store, that I still want to do. It's, been sitting up there for God knows how long, but I still want to do it. This one I have dated of 07. So this was back when I started doing a lot of finishes like this. And I don't know, I can't remember when Priscilla started her blog, but I used to read her blog a lot even before she started doing her own patterns, because I loved the way she finished things, that it wasn't all in a frame, because we all know how expensive that is to frame stuff. But she also took like signs or, cute little hanging from like a wreath and put something in the middle of it, or, a little Dollar Tree pumpkin sign and then hung the stitching underneath it or put it on it. And I really liked that, because you could think of all the things you have that maybe you've had for years that you can kind of spruce up by adding a stitching to it, or just, add more interest to it instead of just being in a frame all the time. So, but this was one of the things that I made into a wall hanging. So this fabric, I love it. I have to stop using it because I used it on like 5 things, I think. But this is a great blender, as Lindsay from Primrose would say, because it doesn't detract from the pattern, but it still adds enough Halloween to it. So this is Ghosty's Garden. And I don't think it's tea-dyed, but it's on a linen, probably 28 count, because that's my jam. And I thought it was super cute. And his little sign says, Beastly Blooms, but I thought that was cute. I need to iron it because it goes in a drawer. And then to finish it off, this is just a stick. I had like a decorative vase that had sticks in it, like I bought them at Hobby Michael's or something like that. And they used to have like rice lights in it, so it was really cute. So one of them broke and it was perfect. So I just safety pin or clothespin it. And this is just a clothespin with washi tape. So that is Ghostly Garden. And that one hangs up in our dining room. And then this is the first piece that I had my new initials on. And I was super excited when I could do that. I think I started it well before I met Phil, but I finished it afterwards. And probably another I'm sure it's from the magazine, maybe even just Cross Stitch. It was from one of those two. It probably is still even a Busey. But it was, I loved the little quilted coat. That was so stinking cute. So these are brads from my scrapbooking stash. And it might have called for buttons on the thing. And these are Weeks Dye Works. And I'm not sure, because you can kind of see like the lines and the ghost of where the variegation was. So I don't know whether I went all the way over and all the way back because I didn't know any better, or it was just I didn't kind of shake up the variegation enough. But this one says, Ghostly Greetings for a Frightfully Happy Halloween. So this is scrapbooking paper. And this, I think it was in one of the magazines that I had of using this idea of using scrapbooking paper as the mat, as the background. And so I use it's not perfect, of course, but I used a Creative Memories circle to try to get the arch, and then just cut the straight lines to mimic the stitching itself. And there's a little bit of sparkle in the paper. And then I just used like a frame that I had around. So the nice thing with that too is I could make this match a frame that I had. I didn't have to, try to put a frame together like I used to. But that one, and my husband teased me. He's like, I thought because I think we'd already been married for a year when I finished this. And I was like, oh, look, it's the first thing with my new initials on it. And he was like, I thought you finished a lot more stuff than that. So, but I do love that one. All right. So this was something that I think I got this off of Pinterest, but I loved how the writing changed from the orange to the black. There's a little bit of purple in the roof, and I loved the colors inside the house. So this was something it was either almost finished or it had been finished and I hadn't FFO'd it when we were in lockdown. So we had a 2-week vacation, like we always have 2 weeks for Christmas or for Easter. And it was during lockdown, and it was wonderful because we needed that time to recharge and kind of regroup. But that was one of the things I was like, I'm going to stitch. I'm going to get stuff done. So it's just mounted on foam core. I've got the black and white check back here, very much Priscilla. And then I had this cute trim, so I just glued that on there. A little bow with a button in the middle. So, and I have no idea where that came from, but I'm pretty sure I just found it on Pinterest. This was another one that I think I had finished, but didn't FFO until 2020. And this I'm pretty sure is a Doreen Jones, and I'm pretty sure it came from, I had a magazine of Halloween crafty stuff, so it was more than just stitching. There's a lot of ideas in it, but this was one of the cute ones. And I think that she's got other ones that kind of go with this. So I think there's other really cute Doreen Jones Halloween ones, but I just loved the colors, and she looks so happy. So the frame I found at Hobby Lobby on clearance, and it was before I was like switching stuff out all the time, but I just leave it in here. But it could be used for something else. And that is scrapbook paper too. So I can't remember whether the mat that was in there had anything on it, but I just covered the mat with the scrapbooking paper and then put her in. So love her little cloak. And because I like that acid color green as like an accent color in Halloween stuff, I think that's really cool. This is a cute little pillow. No idea where, probably Pinterest, some freebie. And just made a little pillow, used that cute little ribbon that I had again. I also have one that like this that's bats. That's really cute. All right. And then move that out of the way because there's so much stuff on my table. That's why I'm out here, because I needed so much. I had so much I needed room for. So if you've been watching, you know that I have the Year of Celebrations from Kathy Haberman's Hands-on Design. And in this one, because I had some variegated, and this is before I really started using the fancy floss like heavily, but I had a little bit of black, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use the variegated that I have in the tree. So, and I love how the little ghost is holding on to the boo and the eyes and the O. So this is probably one of my favorite ones that she did. Super, super cute. There again is that fabric. I'm like, I can't use it anymore because it's on the next one too. It's like, they're not supposed to all match together. And then the cute thing about this frame, I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I love it because it's so easy to switch stuff out, but I can also do that and use the top little ledge to put other decorations on it. So here's my Year of Celebrations. And I actually took all of this stuff down, so today hopefully I can put away Halloween and get all of the fall stuff out, because I need Thanksgiving, I think, gets gypped. So I am strictly a Thanksgiving girl. So it'll be up, but the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas comes out. So I want to make sure Thanksgiving has its due. It gets its time. All right, so here is my October calendar girl from Sugar Stitches. And I love this one too. And again, there's that fabric because it works so well. So I have this whole set, and the November one is very cute. She's got a little turkey. So we'll get her out today and put her out. And then I have the October calendar, the Barn series from Priscilla and Chelsea, but I don't have the November one. So maybe next year I'll have that done. So I have to put my October stuff away since it's November 3rd, 4th already. So all of the Sugar Stitches have the little gingham check on them. And that's why I did go with this one, because I wanted to mimic. I try to do that with those. And then it always has the lace too, but this one had black lace. Well, I couldn't find lace to put on there, but I used pom-poms to set her off. So love her, and I love that she's a redhead, kind of auburny colored hair. All right. Now, so all of that stuff was done previous to last year. And then last year around Halloween is where I really started my obsessed, perhaps is a good word, where I was like constantly stitching. So the first thing that got me going, and it was probably even like October or August or whatever, I think, when she started it, Kathy Haberman did the Mystery Sal costume party. So this is mine. And so this started me on doing some fabric dyeing. So I'd done a few things. I had done I had done a pink that I used for Valentine's Day. I had done a black. chalkboard that came out really cool. And then I had done some bees, the apple green for bees for the first set of tiered tray tidbits that Priscilla and Chelsea did with bee stuff. And those were up for several months. I have bees up a good portion of the year. It's one of my favorite things. So, but then I started kind of, those were strictly like, here's the hot pink, here's the black, here's the green. But for this one, I kind of started messing with the colors a little bit. So RIT does have like a recipe page where you can go and it'll tell you like mix a little bit of this and a little bit of that to get, you know, different colors besides just the basic dyes. So when she put this out and it was kind of a purpley grayish color, I was like, I'm going to give that a shot. So my first one came out way too purple for this, but it was perfect for a couple other things. You'll see those in a minute. But then this was my second try where I kind of changed, I put more gray in and I changed the ratio. So I love how this one turned out. And it was just so cute. I love the little eyes in the jar over here. And everybody else was like, she had a really cute tombstone for the backing piece, and other people found adorable things, and I just couldn't find the right piece. So I was like, well, I'm not going to not put it out. So I just put it on foam core, and it could be that someday I'll find just the right backing piece to like add this to, little tombstone or whatever, haunted house or something. But I used, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you can see a little better. I used this really awesome fabric that was in a charm pack for Halloween that looks like the wallpaper in the Haunted Mansion. So it has that cool vibe to it. Just a little bit of orange rickrack bow with the cute button in the middle. So that was the first Halloween thing. And then with the purple that was too purple, I did Booze, Hisses, and Halloween Kisses. This is from Primrose. And the original that they did was on black with purple for the writing, and I just flipped them. And then this cute little, there's a little chalkboard thing. I found this at Michael's, and I actually paid full price for it, which I don't usually do. But I was like, it'll be gone. You know, by the time it goes on sale, it'll be gone. So I loved with the little purple bat and the purple accent. You can see around there. Just love it. And it's on a little easel. So, and these whip up really quickly. So I actually have the autumn one in my plans to get done in the next week or so. So love how that one turned out. And then the other two things I did last year were tiered tray tidbits. I think, yeah, these are tidbits, not Dapper Doodads. So I used the same fabric that I had from Kathy's because I had enough left over. And I did, these are Priscilla and Chelsea. So I think, I don't remember whether this one was a freebie one or one of the ones that they purchased, that they sold. But I just put it on foam core, and I used baker's twine as just like a quick little border around it. And I have a long tail because, and here's the other one, When Witches Go Riding. And this whole set was cute. There was one that was like, the witch had, I think there was the garden one, and I think there was one that like her laundry was out. So it was super cute. So I did those two together, and I hang them inside of this. So a couple of years ago, I got hooked on these, and I made one or two for like every holiday. And it's just a wire wreath frame. Oh, I don't think you can see it. And I just took like several spools of ribbon and just tied them in knots. And so you kind of have to zhuzh them a little bit to make sure there's not a hole. But we have double doors. If you saw the picture at the beginning of the, hopefully I get it in there, at the beginning of the video, we have double doors from our living room into our enclosed porch. And so I have two of these. And when I saw these last year, the stitchings, I was like, oh, they'd be perfect to put with it. So what I've been doing is hanging them so they're inside the ribbon wreath. So yeah, so that's my finished previous finishes for stitching, but I am also a quilter. So one of the reasons I decided to come out here today was because I could back up and show you stuff. So this is my first Halloween quilt. I actually have one that's underneath stuff I'm not going to show. It's just like a little table runner. So last time I showed you, I have apple stuff out in September. And I'm pretty sure I showed you my apple quilt that I did. That was I'm pretty sure it was a Mary Engelbright. I never went and checked. No, not Mary Engelbright. Who's the other one? She's a folk artist. It's not Teresa, but oh shoot, I'll have to go look it up and I'll put it in the description. But Debbie Mum. That's who it was. It's Debbie Mum. So it was a Debbie Mum pattern, and the original one that I had was apples. And so you do a snowball block. So you have the block, and then you just do the corners to make it into the ball. So the first one was an apple one. I was like, and it basically was the same shape, but it had leaves up here. I was like, wow, I can make pumpkins out of that. So I just took the same pattern, had 9 different, and I made it smaller because the apples was 12. So it was 3 by 4. No, it was 16. It's 16. It's because it's 4 across and 4 down. So this one I decided to do 9 because I wanted to have the one in the middle, and I appliqued his little face on there. So just 9 different pumpkins. This one's sparkly. That one is, it's got some little motifs in it. This one's polka dot. And we have that fabric again. That's what I bought it for. That one's just plain because I didn't want it to compete with his face. We've got the bat one. This one is kind of like a little flower. Then we've got another plaid that has cats in it. And then the one over here has stars and moons, which is also what I used in the border. And then I quilted it to make it look like a pumpkin. The apple one kind of went around in circles. So I quilted them to look like pumpkins and then did the diamond. And this was before I had figured out how to machine quilt. So this is quilted by hand. I don't do that anymore because that's crazy. But this is, I think Sam was a baby when I made this. Or no, Sam wasn't even born yet. I think I finished this like when I was pregnant with him. So this is old, but I love it. And I put it out every year. This year I put it in my crafting room because I still have, you know, it's in its in-between stages. It's not, we haven't painted. I don't have all the furniture up. So Sam's old dresser is still in there. And so I tucked this in the top drawer so it hung over the front. And love to have that out. And the backing of it is also that plaid. I think I'm probably out of it now, which is good. So I stopped using it. So the next one, and I machine quilted this one, so it's not as crazy. That's when I first figured out how to machine quilt. This is a log cabin one, and I started it because I found this fantastic flannel backing. And I do all of my quilts that are going to be like lap quilts or whatever. I always do with flannel on the back to make them super cozy. So this is a log cabin. I used the black in the center and then went from there. And I love it. I actually made one for a friend of mine at the same time using the same strips because that's why I love log cabins, because you cut the strip and you're 2.5 inches or however wide you're doing it, and then you cut as you go. So you're not doing an incredible amount of cutting up front. So you can just cut your strips and then, you know, place it where you're going to put it, cut it off in the end, do the next one. So I had strips already cut. So I did one for my dear friend who lived next door to me. So that one was a like a square and a square. So it would be in like an orange center with a black around it. And the next one was black center with orange around, whatever, the reverse. So she has one too. But this one, I posted this on Pinterest on a board, and Pinterest used to show you how many times something had been pinned, and this one had been pinned like several thousand times, which was really, really cool. And one time, you know, Pinterest will say like, you might like, and you get recommendations. This was in my recommendations to me, and I thought that was kind of cool too. So this is out on one of our sofas, and we do use it to get comfy. And I've tried, I'll roll it up later. I've been rolling my quilts when I put them away lately because, you know, especially when most of them are seasonal, they spend a lot of time being folded up in the closet. And I don't want them to get, you know, lines or like have the fabric where it's folded be worn. So I've been rolling them and putting them away, which might be a problem when some of them are totally enormous, but for now it works. I need to, maybe I'll have a space in my new room and I can store all my quilts like rolled up. All right, so this one is the last Halloween quilt to show you. And it basically, I made it to cover my coffee table in my house before I met Phil. And now we don't have that coffee table. So it also is just kind of folded up over the back of a sofa. But this was really cool. I saw this in a quilting magazine. They actually made it double-sided. So it was candy cane on one side and then Christmas trees on the other because it's the same technique. So this is where you take the strips and you sew them together, kind of like a rough estimate. And then you trim it into the triangle. But I love the dot. The orange dot was awesome for this, and the cute little sparkly spiders. I do like sparkly fabric. I'm sure you're so shocked about that. And then I do a lot of the diamond on quilts because I am not brave enough to try doing anything on my machine is just a regular machine. It's a quilting machine, but and I have started using my walking foot. Like I just did this, I just shoved it through there. This is just straight lines. So the walking foot is awesome, especially on something that's got the thick flannel to it. So, but I just do straight lines because I'm too chicken to try any other swirly things, really. I think I did stars once, but that was it. All right, so let me toss that over there. There we go. Okay, so I do have a few fall quilts I wanted to show you really quickly because next week when I do my next one, they'll be under stuff and I don't want to undecorate everything. These are actually finishes from this year. So when I did my fabric reorganization of my and moved it into my new room, which was Sam's bedroom, so he's moved out. He has his own apartment. He was very happy to actually have like real closets because he had a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes and a lot of jerseys. And his room was just too small for him, and so he has everything in his apartment and I took over his room. So the closet is the first thing that I did because my plan was to reorganize all my fabric in it. And I did that this summer. There's a little video, you can see it on the channel. And the closet's not very big. It really is only wide enough. I have 2 sweater hangers hanging next to each other, and all of my fabric is inside of that. And that was the best thing I did all year, I think, because I could see all of the fabric I have, stuff I did not remember having. So now, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, I need a little piece of yellow. Let me go look into my stash. And there I could find it and see it and use it. So when I did that and I was going through the boxes and tubs and bins of all the fabric and all the projects that would have been started or I, gathered the fabric together to start, I found a couple things that were not done and it was kind of like, why aren't they done? They're like so close to being done that they should be. So I finished those off this summer and though I'm very excited to be able to use them this year. So this is actually one of my 50 for 50. And this is one of the things that I really wanted to do was take these things that were so close to being done and actually finish them. So this was a cute little charm pack with the turkeys. And so they're actually like heavily pieced together because I didn't have very much of the little turkeys. Oh, there you can see the turkeys better. So I cut them, just used it as best as I could because I wanted the turkeys for the border. And then some of these were like this one and this one. I think most of that one and were all part of the charm pack. This is a favorite fabric of mine too. I love how it has the gold stripe in it, and I'm planning on using that with another finishing. But that's nice too because it blends so nicely. So this is going to go probably on the middle of the table, on our dining room table, and then have a centerpiece on top of it. And I'm so excited to actually to have it done. So that is cool. I'm like chucking all my quilts over there. Then this one is a barn door. That's one of its names. It's got like 25 names. And this was actually a sample. I used to teach quilting at Joann's years ago. I had a job like in an office that was just not for me. The people are awesome, love them, but the work itself was very repetitive and not creative. So I was like, I'm going to do something creative to, feed that side. So I was teaching quilting and I had to make examples of the different things. So this was one of the projects that they did. And because I wasn't a Joann's employee, I had to buy my own stuff, but then I get to keep it. So this one was one that was not done because I was running out of the orange thread to quilt it. And I was like, okay, this summer, I was like, all right, really, who's going to notice that the thread changed color? Me. And maybe not even me, you know. So super cute. Love the barn door because it's very versatile. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. And I just quilted it in the ditch. And then I just rolled it. I didn't actually bind it. I did the thing where you sew around it and turn it inside out, which I don't love. I've decided because it doesn't come out very evenly. So I probably won't do that again, but for this one, it looks fine. And this will be another table topper. It's not something that someone's going to be snuggled under or anything like that. All right. And then my last fall one, hold on 1 second, is this one is much, much older. This is probably, I did this probably around the time that I did the pumpkin one. So it's another log cabin. Love them. And usually, as you can probably guess, when I see a fabric that I fall absolutely in love with, that's the focal, and then everything else comes from it. So I love that leaf. And I think it does have, no, it doesn't have any sparkle in it, but you can see it. I actually hand quilted those. I machine quilted the inside in the ditch, but then I hand quilted like swirlies, like it was supposed to be like the wind was swirling the leaves. And love how this one came out. Here, I'll stand up so you can see the whole thing. And I love that you can do so many different arrangements with log cabins. Like the one I'm planning on doing for my brother and my sister for Christmas is going to be the one where it makes like the big diamond in the middle when you put it together. So that is my last quilt to show you. All right, so I'm going to pause for just a second because I have stuff everywhere, all over, like tossing quilt, and put all the stuff in front of me so I can show you my FFOs and what I'm working on. I wouldn't really say they're whips because, well, I had some Halloween stuff that now I'm done with, you know, and I'm going to be I want to do some fall things. So I'm going to move everything around. I'm going to show you that. So hold on 1 second. All right. So now I have obviously no FFOs because that was kind of part of my thing. I kept not doing my Flosstube, like putting it off, like, oh, I don't have the stuff ready yet. And then I was thinking, you know, why rush through getting it FFO'd? Because this is something I worked, a long time on, getting things done and rushing through it because I'm going to enjoy it for years. So if I start enjoying it next year, that is totally fine. But I do have that long weekend next weekend, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of stuff FFO'd. And who knows, maybe I'll even have a few more things from this week because the fall things I'm going to show you are super quick. The stuff I want to do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show is, this is an older piece. I have no idea. I think this might have been in a 2020. I think it's probably fiddler's cloth, which is super cute. I have some more of that. And I'm usually not an Ada person, but I like the rustic feel of it. No idea where this came from. Nope. Probably a magazine. I have a million of them. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a pillow because I wanted to go with that other little Halloween pillow that I have. I have this cute little basket. So I'm going to do the stripes. And this is another favorite fabric of mine. I would use it in like everything. It's that beautiful color. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe terracotta, because you're going to see that in a second. That's what I have. And then it has the gold dots on it. And they have it in red and green too at Christmas time. And I love it because, like Lindsay says, it's such a good blender. It goes with everything. Oops. Didn't mean to show you that. The backing with the green side on it. Here, we'll do that. That's better. I forgot it was two-sided. So that's going to be a little pillow. So that is not part of my 50 for 50 list because I have no idea when I made that originally. But this one is. So this I started in September. Super quick. And I think I showed it to you last time. But this is the first. I did it on Vintage Country Mocha, which I am now in love with and I need more. And because I like the modeling, it's perfect for this one. It kind of even evokes like a coffee feel to it. And that was the first one that I used that awesome Etoile sparkly floss on, and I loved it. So I'm using that for a whole piece. So this I'm going to finish on foam core with this fabric. Oh, there. That's better. I think I have a whole yard of this, because how could you not have a whole yard of this? And look how cute that's going to be. And I'm probably going to do like kind of a wide border or like backing with this one, so you can see all the cute little stuff. And this is great because it goes with the Wicked Without Coffee, because it's got all the cute stuff on it, but it's also, I can use it for fall. So I have no idea what I'm going to use the rest of it for, but it was just too cute to leave there, and it'll be perfect for that. So that was one of my 50 for 50. I think that was like 28 or so. Then I worked on the Halloween roundabouts, and I have all 4 of them done. So this is, I used that purple fabric that was the mistake fabric the first time I did it, but it was perfect for this. So, and I used all of the Etoile on all of this too. So the first one was the candy corn. So the white in here is just B5200, or I always want to say B52. So, but the rest of it is sparkly. I don't think the yellow is. I didn't have the yellow at that time, but I love how that turned out. And then next I did pumpkin carving. And that one does have a lot. It's all the Etoile stuff. Now this one I filled in, because their original, the pumpkin wasn't filled in, but they did theirs on white. So I didn't really like it with the purple in the middle, so I filled it in with the orange. And then I filled in all of their faces, and he actually has a little bit of glow in the dark in his face, because I didn't like the purple showing through. Then I did the brew one, which is, I love that one. And again, I filled in the white on there. It's not as bad. The black is a little harder to see. I was kind of like, I want to rip the whole thing out and put orange in, but I didn't. So there's the Witch's Brew. So cute. And then the last one was the Home Sweet Haunted Home. And that one, the ghosts are glow in the dark. So and that's why I used like the B52, you know what I mean, for the other ones, instead of, I think they had tea and biscuits is what they called for, because I wanted them to go together, and I wanted to use the glow in the dark for here. So it glows green when you see it. And it's funny because I would turn off my light and you could see the skein like sitting there glowing. Now my problem was, and I posted on Chelsea and Priscilla's Facebook page, I did not leave enough room here. And I was like, oh. Because my original plan, and I even painted them, I was just going to take the little wooden hoops like I've done for the buttons that go with the monthly, it's not the monthly weigh-in, that's the new one, the barn one, you know what I mean. So I was originally going to just take the black hoop and hoop each one of them, and then I could hang them wherever I wanted to. There is not enough room. Not enough room there. So I posted and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. And I was like, they're going in timeout. So I just put them aside. So what I am going to do, because I was thinking that would be quick, easy, and then I could have them out this Halloween. But that's not going to work. So here's my plan B. And so this is what I'm going to do with them. So this is that, oh, wrong way. This is from Hobby Lobby, and I have one of these that I painted white already. And this is great for the roundabouts because there's 4. So you could choose which 4 you want. You could have the 5th one for like an accent piece elsewhere. And then you can paint these. So I'm going to paint this black. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take scrapbook paper and like decoupage it onto the front. So the background for each of the little purple circles will be scrapbooking paper on each one of them. And then I have a really great cording that's an orange and black cord like twisted together that I'll probably use like around the circles. So that is my plan for the roundabouts. And those were like 30, like 29, 30, 31, and 32 in my 50 for 50. So super cute. And they're going to be awesome next year. And, I was like, I'm not going to rush it. So after those had to go in timeout, my next project was Primrose Cottage's Happy Hunting Home, I think is what they called it. Now, Nellie did these. She did the whole house series, and they're all adorable. I really would like to do the turkey one too, but I don't know if I'll have time this year. We'll see. But she did them all in 10. So they came out really cute, and she made them into pillows. And I thought that was adorable because they're so cute. But they're really kind of small. So I didn't have 10, and I didn't have I didn't have 10. But I had this really awesome Stormy Night. So this is from, I ordered a big piece of it. I have a big piece I'll show you in a second. That's the bigger portion, but then there was enough of this left over for me to do at least 1 or 2 other things on it. So this is 32 count. So I did it 3 over 3. So if you can see that. It wasn't really hard to do once you got started with a row. It was easy to stick to, 3 over 3 instead of 2 over 2. I did use the black sparkly étoile for the outlining of the windows and the happy haunting down here and the spider. So he's sparkly. And then these ghosts are all also done in the glow in the dark. So I'm going to do this into a little pillow like Nellie did. I know I have black trim and stuff because I got that awesome set from Michael's that had 25 different pieces of Halloween fall trim, and I've not used any of them yet, but I will on this. Don't know what I'm going to use for the backing. I have plenty to choose from though. There's a lot in there, but that came out really cute. So I think that was number 34 in my 50 for 50. All right, so that was my FOs for the month. And as soon as I finished those, then I did go on to other things. They're not finished, but I did put a little bit of work into other pieces. So, there's a thread there. This is, this way. This is Halloween is 4 from Annabella's. And this is on 32, the Stormy Night. So this was the big piece that I got. Well, it came fat quarter or whatever, and I cut it. So I'd have this piece, and then I'd have enough to do other things. I don't know how people work on ginormous pieces of fabric, because I'm always about, I want to get as much out of each piece as I possibly can. But so this I'm doing with the étoile. So it's sparkly and glow in the dark. So the white is the glow in the dark. And so I got a little bit more done with that. But this is going to be awesome when it's done next year. This I know I won't work on this in that last week between Christmas and Thanksgiving or New Year's, because there won't be enough time to finish it, would be the only thing. Sorry for the stray thread, the loose thread on here. But the other one I did put a little bit of work on also was Black Cat Bakery from Primrose. Or not, sorry, not Primrose. Stitch with the Housewives. So that had a little bit more work done on it too. And this, I am going to try to finish that one off before the end of the year in that last week. Because there's really not, it doesn't seem like there's terribly, I've got to finish the pedestal. But that's so much just kind of straight stitching. And then I need to do the stuff at the bottom. So I have the top half almost done. And I just need to do the bottom half. So that was another whip. Then I started my fall stuff. And it was funny because I started working on it yesterday. And my husband looked over and he's like, "You started a new one?" I was like, "Yep, I did. Definitely did." All right, I have to figure out which direction is up. There we go. Because I am doing the Autumn Quaker from Primrose. Super, super cute. I do like her Quakers. They're all pretty cool. Now, when she first put it out, they did it in pumpkin pie from Color and Cotton. And they made a joke one day that they broke the dyeing machine. So, you could not get pumpkin pie because everybody was doing it in pumpkin pie. So I decided to do it in terracotta. So I emailed Color and Cotton and I said, "Can you send me some terracotta?" So that is what I'm doing it in. I'm doing it on 28 count Carolina, which is my go-to kind of rusticy linen. It's from DMC. You can get it at Joann's, which means you can use your coupon. I go through tons of this stuff, but it's great. I really like it because you can see it has variation in the weaving of the threads. They're not all just, you know, plain white or something that were dyed. It's like actually in the threads. So I have the terracotta from them. I also ordered from them, and I thought I was going to use it for the Halloween is 4, but it's too purpley. I ordered Witch's Brew, partly because the name just was amazing. It looked a lot more like it was just black in the website, but that's okay. So this is Witch's Brew, and probably looks, oh, there you can see some of the purple. There you can see it. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So my plan for this is next year I'm going to do Lady Halloween from Jardin Privé, which is also kind of a Quaker, and they have it, Linny's doing it from Sable Stitchers, and she's doing the color conversion that is mostly black, and then like the pumpkin is orange and stuff like that. So I might do kind of like a little combination, but I do want to, I have 3 skeins of the Witch's Brew, so I should have plenty, but I'm going to do that one next year. All right, so in my fall plans, so I'm going to do the Quaker, which I think won't take very long. I think that'll work out pretty quickly. I also have the Harvest Wishes and Pumpkin Kisses. And I've had this one actually for a while. I think I bought it last year. Never got to it. And my plan for this is I'm going to finish it on this little house. So this is one of my Dollar Tree finds. And I used it for the Valentine's Day. So I put the washers on, I put a magnet up here on the chimney so I can just pop them off. And I'll find, I actually had a magnet that was a heart that I just put on there, but I'm just going to put like a teeny tiny washer on the back of a button, like a sunflower or a pumpkin or something like that. And then I'll use, you know, a little backing on the stitching. But that one also is a very quick stitch. Very, very quick. So that's part of my plan for fall. Calico Confectionery, I think that's the name. They have this super cute little pilgrim couple one that says, we give thanks, or we are thankful, or something cute like that. And I might do that. I don't know though about time, because my plan is I'm going to stitch until Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, kind of like how I would for decorating. I do want to do though, this is Pinker and Pumpkin. And I have to pull up the picture because her stuff doesn't come with a photo on the pattern. But I love Pinker and Pumpkin. She is so creative and so generous because all of her patterns are free. So if you're looking for something super cute to whip up, you can, you know, stash buster kind of thing, check her out. So this is Autumn Salt Box. So I want to do that one. And she's got a ton. She's got so many cute salt boxes. She had a new one that came out this year that was Blessing Salt Box that I might also want to do. And then this one is Aunt Mariah's salt box. So I think I'm probably going to do them on tea-dyed because they'll be displayed together. But I don't know, maybe, you know, it's okay to have things displayed together that don't match on the fabric. I'm too matchy-matchy sometimes. So maybe I'll do this one on tea-dyed because I need the white to show up. And the Carolina linen, it doesn't always show up. And then I might do this one on the oop, that's a book. Sorry, hold on. I take pictures, screenshots of things all the time. I might do that one on the Carolina. Now I do also have Autumn Tiny Town, which I was super excited to get started on, but that is probably going to be one of my 24 for 24. If you watch Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo, or Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher, 10,000K, go Jessica. They are doing with their Stitch Your Stash 23, which I'm sure will turn into 24. They're doing 24 for 24. And there was a lady named Pam who started that idea. They kind of picked it up and ran with it. And so I am going to do that as well. And I'm going to stitch things that I bought this year. Like, so excited. Couldn't wait to start it and have not. You know, like I have Erin Elizabeth's farmhouse, and I have the honeybee garden, and I have things that I bought that are stitching related. So I have plenty to start that next year. And one of those will be the Tiny Town Autumn for sure, because that one's so cute. I love all her tiny towns. I would do them all if I could. All right, so that's my plans for autumn, and getting what I can get done by Thanksgiving is what I will get done, and then I will switch to Christmas. Little bit of haul, and then I'll be done for today. You know, thank you for being patient and sticking with me. So one of the things that I stitched earlier this year, and it was a sal that I actually finished the whole sal. I'm kind of like 50-50 on that of when I can get it done or not. Oh, like the primrose, like the Welcome to the North Pole that I put maybe like 20 stitches in. Yeah, but I'm glad that I didn't get really far on it because I'm going to use iridescent floss for all of the snow. And it's going to be awesome because it's going to be sparkly. But I did do this Sal. I did the Stitcher's Garden. This is a Tiny Modernist. And I just loved it, especially because I want to do a lot of stitchings about stitching to go in my crafting space. There's so many cute ones out there. Cure Batacori, I think that's how you say it. Everybody butchers it. She's got a lot of cute ones. Like she's got a quilting one and a knitting one and a stitching one and a scrapbooking one. So good to all. But I loved this one. And I wanted to frame it in a red frame. I've kind of been using Java Girl's backdrop, if you've seen hers, which, thank goodness, she is back. I mean, I totally understand why she decided to take a break from doing Flosstubes with her adorable little grandchildren and spending time with her family. But I was so happy to see that she came back and she had so many cute things to show off. She just has the greatest finishing. But if you look at her background behind her, she has a lot of cute stitchy things and she uses red as her accent color. So that is what I am using for my inspiration. But I've had a hard time finding, sorry, I'm pulling some cardboard off, finding red frames that were the right color or, you know, and I don't want to use only the same red frame all the time. So I bought this in the wood pile section at Hobby Lobby and I'm going to paint it red and maybe like, you know, not be super careful about it. So it looks a little rustic. So if some of it shines through, that's okay. And then mount this in the middle of it so that there's plenty of room to have the beads kind of be the frame. It probably won't go on any sort of fabric backing. I'll just have it red and then have this go to the edge. I think there's enough there to do that. So that's one of my things I'm going to do in my FFOing next week. And then I also picked up this cute little Simply Blessed frame. They had Count Your Blessings as well. Those were at Hobby Lobby in their fall section. Everything was half off. So the two of them together were only like $5.50. So that was really it. I've been good most of the month because I've been trying to use the stuff that I already have. And I had very specific things that I wanted to get done. I wanted to have all the Halloween stuff done. And it was really good. And then Tiny Modernist came out with some new stuff. So this came out just the other day. And when I saw it, it was like, oh my gosh, I must have it. This is the Yule Goddess. So she's part of the set. There's the Bee Goddess, the Fall, I think it's Fall, the Stitch Goddess. But she's got, this is I think the 4th or 5th one now. But I just love her. She's so gorgeous. Now, she did it on Grasshopper. And if you've watched before, you know I do not have an LNS. The closest one is Hobby House, which I would love to make the pilgrimage to one of these days and go see it. Because I am very much like I want to touch and feel all the fabric. And so it's hard when you can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take tea-dyed fabrics that already has like that beige color to it. And I'm going to dye it with my apple green dye. And I think it will turn out to look something like this. So that is what I'm going to try for that. And I also got this one because I have a thing about cardinals. So that was also Tiny Modernist. So that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know it was like an hour video because I had so much to show off. I do hope to have another video for you shortly because I'm going to do the FFOs next week. And so I can show you these things finished. And then hopefully, you know, I might even have the Quaker done. And maybe even move on to something else. Oh, I almost forgot one very important thing. So I have also been quilting. And this quilt was a quilt topper that I did years ago. Years and years and years ago. Because I fell in love with this fabric. This lime green hot pink fabric. So I made a whole quilt out of it, and then it just sat in the crafting space. Well, a dear friend of mine at school has started chemo. She just had her 2nd round, and the anticipation of what the chemo was going to be like was really terrible for her, and not knowing what it was going to be like. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided I'm going to take that top and I'm going to quilt it for her and give it to her so that she has it when she goes to chemo. So I didn't make it in time for when she started chemo, but she has one coming up. So I'm going to hopefully be able to give it to her this week. So here is my lime green hot pink quilt for my friend Terry. So I did the middle kind of like sort of like an around the world kind of thing, where, because you have the diagonal of this, like each fabric going in the diagonal. And so then the focal one is in each corner. And then they're all different across. So we have the green and the pinks, like the tie-dyed ones, and so a couple different patterns there. And then, so that I stitched, like I did Monica's baby quilt a couple weeks ago. Oh, and Monica had her baby, Parker Joseph. He is stinking adorable. Oh my gosh. So she's enjoying the bee quilt. And I still have to finish Anna's because she's going to give birth any second. So I got to get that one done. So what I did is, it's kind of not really stitch in the ditch because I didn't go like right in the seam, but inside just a little bit so that you can kind of, it's more defined to see the square. And I think it gives a little bit more of a pattern. It still has like the, I use the all cotton batting and it kind of flakes off a little bit. I also like it because you don't have to mark it. All I did was use the width of the walking foot and just lined that up to the seam and went from there. So, but then for the sides, I did the diamond pattern because I didn't want to do just straight lines in such a big, wide strip. So I did the diamond pattern. And all I'm working on right now still is I'm trying to get the binding done. I did the binding on the machine this summer for the one for my mother-in-law. I was on a time crunch. Like, I was literally finishing it the morning that we got in the car. But I didn't really love how it turned out. It could just be I need more practice on it, but it seemed to me to get it closer to the edge. But there was like a flap of the binding, and I didn't really love that. So I am doing it by hand with a hot pink. Oh, and the back is this awesome green. So I quilted it with this really cool lime green thread on the bottom and then the pink on the top. And I did have to mark this with a pencil. So I'm going to, when it's done, I think I'm just going to put it in the washing machine on soak. Soak it for a little while to get the blue out. And then probably just wash it and dry it because that'll get all the fuzzies off too. So that is going to be number 35 because I'm going to get this done and be able to give it to Terry this week. All right, so now I'm really done. So thank you for coming and stopping by and spending some time. I hope you saw some things that you liked or maybe some inspiration on how I finished something. I do plan on having another video next week with my FFOs of all of the stuff I showed you today. Plus, I will have some autumn stitching. I don't have a ton of autumn stitching already done. Like, I only have 4 pieces that say November and that they're not even Thanksgiving-y. They're just really fall. But I hope to fix that so I have more fall Thanksgiving things to put out. And then, yeah, so if I do my video before the book fair, hopefully I'll survive the book fair, and then I can do one maybe Thanksgiving weekend. We have, I get 5 days off, and so I can do one then and show you Christmassy stuff. Although I won't really have started stitching Christmas by then. We'll see. If I finish all the little things that I wanted to do, those 4 little projects, if I get those done, then I'm going to go right into Christmas, whether it's Thanksgiving yet or not. Because then I can also watch the Christmas movies on Hallmark. I'm like, can't do it yet. They start the week before Halloween, not there yet. And they started playing Christmas music on my radio, not there yet. But when I work on Christmassy stuff, then I can do it. It'll be cool. So thank you so much again for stopping and spending time. I really do appreciate it. I so love all of the comments and the kind words and the encouragement. So I really do appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people out there to watch. I've been actually listening to a lot of people in the car on my way to and from work because I don't want to miss anybody. I want to catch all my Flosstube friends that I follow, and that's worked out pretty well. So and just like listen, and somebody can keep me company on my way to school. So, but thank you so much. Hope to see you next week. Have a great one. See you next time. Happy stitching.